Welcome everybody. My name is Heather Willison. I am a managing director and founding member here in Austin, Texas. Thank you for taking the time to hop on today. We'll try to keep it succinct and short, but you'll have time to ask questions after I'm done. Just give me about 5 to 10 minutes to give you a little bit of background on me, what Beautycounter is all about, what the consultant opportunity is, and how this could affect you. So again, my name's Heather. I am actually, my background's in PR. So I had a whole career of public relations for a long time with almost every industry you could possibly think of, from entertainment to nonprofit, but I found my niche in natural foods. So the last bit of my career was in Boulder, Colorado, and I actually was lucky enough to have my own boutique agency called Snap PR, and I focused on mostly natural products, specifically food and beverage. Right around the time, that everything was going really well with my career, I started to have a family. And after my son was born, probably like some of you that are parents, I found just this real difficult position that I was in, being a career woman, but not really having the flexibility to take care of my baby and my toddler and wanting to be more present as a parent. So I was seeking out an opportunity where I could, continue to make a significant income, because our family has always been a 2-income household. That's just never been an option for me to not contribute financially, but also be there for my children. Well, at the time, just one, but now I have 2. So when Beautycounter came across my radar, I really was intrigued, because I was able to do it flexibly and on my own terms, but actually create a significant income while doing it. So it was definitely intriguing, and I was honestly skeptical, as was my husband at the time. But I thought, what the heck, if it doesn't work out, I can always go back to a full-time career. What do I have to lose? So I gave it a shot, and I was lucky enough, well, I don't want to say it's lucky because it took a lot of hard work, but I was fortunate enough to be making a 6-figure salary within 3 months of doing the business. Now that's quick. I'm going to say that's not typical necessarily, but it's absolutely possible, as it is still today. It's been almost 4 years since I joined Beautycounter, and my team is now just shy of about 4,000 consultants, and we have grown by leaps and bounds year after year after year, and it has just been the most phenomenal ride that I could possibly have imagined. So I'm here to really tell you about what it's done for my life, what it can do for yours, and then how you can get involved. So again, right now, we're lucky enough to where this has completely changed our life. It's allowed my family to really have that financial freedom that we've never had before. My husband's been able to go freelance and really pursue his passion and on his own terms as well. So we're fortunate enough to be a family of entrepreneurs. So it's really exciting. So, let me tell you a little bit about Beautycounter. Now, you're likely on this live video because you know a little bit about the company already, so I won't spend too much time, but it's important that you understand, what we are and what we've built. Beautycounter identified a problem, that there was a significant lack, and there still is, of regulation when it comes to beauty and personal care products. Not only was there a huge lack of regulation, but there just weren't a lot of options as far as safer and high-performing products. So Beautycounter set out to, create a solution, and really through 3 pillars. First and foremost, through education. So a big part of what we do as Beautycounter consultants is actually educate people on why it's important to know what's in your skincare and your cosmetics. Because sometimes people just do not know. They don't even know to be aware. 2, we aim to provide solutions through innovative and high-performing products. So not only do we provide safer products, and we hold those products to a very strict ingredient selection process, but we also demand incredible high performance and innovation. So we're also starting to innovate in categories that you haven't even learned about yet, that I can't wait for you to see in 2018. And then the third way that we provide solutions is through advocacy. So, whether it's through sending 100 of our own consultants to Washington, D.C. later this year in May to actually go to Capitol Hill and lobby for stricter regulation, or meeting with my local congressman or senator, which I have done here in Austin, there are also avenues to advocate for better and more health protective laws, which we so desperately need in this country. Now, you're probably on this call because you're contemplating the business opportunity, so let me tell you a little bit about what that looks like and what being a consultant actually involves. We've been around for almost 5 years, and we've managed to build a consultant force of about 28,000 consultants across North America and Canada. But That sounds like a lot, I know, but it's tiny. It's just scratching the surface of what we're going to become. And the growth is phenomenal. And there's so much room for you and many more to follow you to build a significant business. It's an incredible time to join right now. We're really on the brink of, I feel like, that tipping point. You know, we're starting to get that household brand recognition, which helps you when you're starting your career. But we also have a lot of people that don't know about us yet. We also just got one of our biggest investment rounds to date, and we are poised for substantial growth this year when it comes to technology and innovation. Now, the investment partner that we just got this month was huge, but we also have U2 frontman Bono as one of our investors, and that happened last year. So hey, Bono's on our side. Can't go wrong, right? Now, the way we do things at Beautycounter is that we've really taken the direct sales model and modernized it a bit. And we have what we call direct retail, which is, really a multi-channel business. So first and foremost, we sell and market our products through our network of independent consultants like myself. That is our primary form of sales. But we also work in e-commerce as well as strategic retail partnerships. And if you have questions about that later, I can tell you. But what I will tell you first and foremost is that it is absolutely the way to do business these days. You want to meet consumers where they are, where they want to be met, how they want to be met, and they want to shop how they want to shop and with who they want to shop. So what we've done is taken the best of traditional retail and direct sales and put it together in one model to provide a successful business. Now, if you're a consultant, you actually get to enjoy a 25% discount off any products that you yourself want to purchase. And listen, we are our own consumers too. You better believe my household is filled with safer products, Beautycounter and otherwise. So it's nice to be able to receive that discount. Now, we also make a 25 to 35% commission on anything we sell. And they're also able to increase your income by building and mentoring your own team, which is what I chose to do. You also earn significant cash and product bonuses, credits, incentive trips, other rewards, but obviously the biggest reward is in your paycheck. We have one of the best comp plans in the industry, and I can tell you firsthand that it is. Now, you can treat this however you want. We have people doing this as a side hobby, making $100, $200 a month, or we have people making $100,000, six-figure income a month. This is not six figures a month. I should clarify, 6 figures a year. Well, I guess six figures a month too. That is possible, and it's happening. So, I am personally one of those that has enjoyed that robust paycheck, and I can tell you that it is possible. And if you work hard and you treat this like a job, it will pay you like a job, and probably better than any job you've ever had in your entire life. Now, the great thing is that we welcome all participation levels. So whether you want to do this and just do a little or you want to do this and do a lot, we welcome you. The point is we need more voices to really move this mission forward, and there's room for everybody. And what I love about this is even if you're just doing this as a hobby and selling to your neighbor or your best friend or your mom, you are still making social impact on your community and helping improve people's lives. And that's amazing, very empowering. So what are the steps to actually becoming a consultant? Well, you can simply enroll for $85, and with that $85, you get a personal website. You get access to our back office, which is called Behind the Counter, where we do all of our behind-the-scenes work. You also get business tools like order forms, lookbooks, and then, of course, from there, you're going to choose a product bundle to get started with. We have 3 options. They range from about $200 to all the way up to about $750, and those product bundles are available to you at a very significant discount, about 42%. Now, they're optional, but I always say they're really not optional. The reason being, think of it this way. If you were to open a clothing boutique, but you had no clothes in that boutique, you probably wouldn't be very successful, right? Same thing with this business. You want products to show and share with your potential clients and network. That's how you're going to be successful. So take that investment seriously. Now, you can find all this information on the website of the consultant that invited you to this. So check out her or his personal website, or you can simply go to beautycounter.com/join. And if you start the enrollment process, you will be able to select your mentor there as well. So at that point, I would like to just tell you that I'm respectful of your time and I don't want to take up too much of it. This is just sort of scratch the surface of what we're about. I would love for you to reconnect with whoever invited you to this video and ask more specific questions, but I'm also going to be on here for another 10 minutes or so. So if you do have questions, I can scroll through what you've already been commenting with and see if I can address some of those specifics, or go ahead and fire away and ask me some questions. But I just want to say that we would love to have you join us. We need you. We need your voice. and it's the most supportive and incredible community I've ever been a part of in my career. I feel so blessed and lucky to have found it and to have thrown my heart and soul into it, as my family has done as well. So thank you for taking the time to join me, and fire away with some questions, and give me a second while I scroll through and see some of the comments that I've already gotten. So one sec. Okay, Anne asked if I could go over the e-commerce. Well, really what that means is that people can certainly hop onto your website and shop online. They can also hop on to beautycounter.com and shop. Most of the time when somebody chooses to go just to beautycounter.com, it's because they don't know a consultant. We've been lucky enough to get a ton of media attention. We were in Allure, Best of Beauty, In Style, E-Online. A ton of celebrities use our products, and so sometimes people will hear about it and they don't know where they've heard about it. They just check it out, or maybe it's on Instagram or something like that. But typically when people shop at beautycounter.com and they don't know a consultant, if they repeat shop, they're persuaded to connect with a local consultant. And most people want to, because that's how they get that exceptional personal service. Let's see what else I have. How did you build your business to what it is with being home and kids and a regular crazy life? Well, I will tell you that, you do have to invest in your business. You have to invest in yourself. So that did mean in the early days when my kids are now 6 and 9, so they're out at elementary school. So during the school day I work, but I'm there to pick them up at 3 o'clock, which is amazing. And my work day typically ends at 3 o'clock. But in the early days when I had that, 2 young children at home, or maybe at preschool for a couple hours, I did invest in a babysitter. So while sometimes that's a struggle and that's maybe kind of hard to do in the beginning, I knew that if I treated it like a real job would require me to have those hours. And so I invested in myself, and it paid back in spades. Okay, are the earnings the same for products that are on sale? Yeah, basically we get 25% base commission. It doesn't matter what the price of the product is. It's just 25% of the actual cost of the product, or the sale of the product. The 35% comes into play where we actually get rewarded for selling more, so we are able to earn a bonus on our sales. And so those specifics your consultant can go over with you. What was your approach when you started selling, and how did you gain consultants on your team when you first started out? Well, my approach when I started was to share my enthusiasm and passion for this mission. And I think that's the number one thing. And yes, we sell beautiful products that I'm a huge fan of, and the products, truly sell themselves because they're so amazing. But for me, my passion was what we were trying to do, and that we were trying to disrupt the beauty industry and make waves and let people know that this isn't okay. And coming from the food industry, I was used to the fact that, 10 years ago, people didn't understand that the source of their food was important. Now, places like Whole Foods and, other similar stores they're becoming mainstream, and shopping organic isn't strange to people, right? They know that if they want to choose better ingredients and a better source for their food, they might have to opt for more premium, options like organic. So for us, I feel like, what we really need to do is disrupt this industry and tell consumers, you deserve better. You deserve better ingredients in your products. Your children deserve better. And if we can actually, shift purchasing power towards safer ingredients, then guess what? Regulation in the industry will have to follow, because that's where the consumer demand will be. So for me in the beginning, I just shouted from the rooftops my confidence in this company and my excitement about the mission, and I said, you need to be a part of this. You need to be at the forefront of this movement. So I really, really focused on building my own team of people that I could lock arms with and use our voices together as a collective movement versus just me by myself. So that's where I really focused, was actually going out and finding business partners as soon as I could. Cindy says, my only regret is not joining sooner. I agree. I wish I had to. Liz asks, are the products organic? So there are organic ingredients in a lot of the products. In this industry, which you will learn, that there is no such thing as, like the terms natural and organic and botanical and plant-based, unfortunately, aren't regulated in our industry. So, sometimes it's just not possible. We do use organic ingredients when possible, and when we feel like it's necessary. It's not always. So yes and no. I hope that answers your question. And by the way, we have a great FAQ. If you go to beautycounter.com and scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see an FAQ, and there is a detailed answer to that question. Candace asked, do we pay for samples that we give potential customers? All right, so this is a great question. We do sell branded sample sets, and I can probably pull one out in a second, but they're really cute. They're like little boxes of our core skincare. But you honestly don't need a ton of that, because our best way of sharing is with our full-size products. So when I was talking about purchasing those bundles ahead of time, You will have full-size product. You can either make your own or actually just give your collection to somebody for a few days to borrow. That's what I find the most effective way. The other thing is we have a 60-day return policy. So if somebody wants to, try a night cream or try a face wash, I usually encourage them just to go ahead and purchase it, knowing that they can get a full refund, product refund within 60 days if they don't love it. And that typically works. So if I have somebody out of state, that's usually what I recommend. But we do have samples. You do purchase them. We do have extra business aids like more lookbooks and order forms and flyer, all kinds of supplemental marketing material that you don't need, but if you want, you can purchase for an additional cost. Okay, Liz asks, how do prices compare to the run-of-the-mill over-the-counter cosmetics? It depends on where you shop. I would say if you're used to going to like a Walgreens or a CVS, we're going to be a little bit more expensive than that. If you're used to going to a dermatologist or a high-end department store, we're going to be less expensive. We're probably on par with like Sephora pricing if you're used to shopping brands there. Can you speak about how many hours per week yields what income level? That's a great question. On any given week, well, let me back up. I think if you spend a couple hours a week, you're going to make a couple $100s a month. I have some people that can only start there, but their intention is to build higher. So we work on a plan, and that's what your mentor will work with you to build a plan that works for you and your current schedule and, how to meet your goals, your financial goals. 10 hours a week is usually about a director level and maybe $1,000 to a couple $1,000s a month. It's real hard to say exactly because it all depends on what you put into it. But obviously those that are making the six-figure salaries, those are full-time hours. On any given week, I'm probably working 30 to 50 hours a week. Some weeks are slower because I just have things going on in my personal life and I make up for it in other weeks or maybe at night or on, during lunch. But I definitely treat this like a full-time job for those higher income levels. Heather, can you please comment on the great resources offered? Yes. So your support as a consultant is phenomenal. We have, like at the back office I mentioned, behind the counter, we have an amazing training program that you can, sort of like a self-guided training program. You also will have your mentor. Your mentor is the person, whoever, introduced you to this opportunity, is going to be the person that, really guides you. I always say I like to give the Cliff Notes versions of what to do. And then usually we have Facebook team support groups, we have HQ trainings, we have monthly meetings, we have annual events, we have training workshops across the country. The support is phenomenal. Taylor asks, what advice would you give to someone who's on the fence about joining because they're busy with kids? Well, I will tell you, busy is the new thing, right? We're all busy. Believe me, I am busy. I would say that it just depends on what you want out of it. If you're doing this for just because you really want to be a part of the movement and the mission and it's important to you, then maybe you don't need to spend as much time doing it and it's just, you're really proud of what we're doing. But if you're truly looking to significantly contribute to your family and create that income, then you'll probably have to make time for it, whether that's hiring a babysitter twice a week for a couple hours so that you can sit and focus on Beautycounter, or maybe it's working during the evenings when your kids are sleeping or during early mornings. I like to get up early sometimes and spend about 30 minutes on my computer so I can get my day started. It definitely is up to you. I always say though, like if you have one foot in, one foot out, it's probably going to feel that way the whole time. But if you are committed and putting yourself into this, most of us are busy parents, so we can typically tell you how to get around that. Can you please address our need for women of color? Absolutely. So, our mission is to get safer products into the hands of everybody, and that means everybody. And we have a significant need for women of color in North America to help us spread this message and this need within your community. So absolutely, we're actually going to be really elevating that effort this year, so you'll probably start seeing more from, in that regard. Sarah asked, how did you get your husband on board? It's funny, I get this question all the time, and if there's of interest, I'd be happy to bring him into one of these videos sometime because I get that question all the time. I will say I'm a bit of a stubborn person and kind of bullheaded and do what I want when I want. So for me, it was really my decision, honestly. But I know that's not always the case. So, for me, like I said, I was an equal contributor financially to our family. There was no question that I had to contribute financially. And I really, really wanted a way to do it where I could also be there for my children because he had a full-time demanding job. I told him that I would give it, 6 months, and if it wasn't producing results like I wanted it to, then I would go get a full-time job. It didn't mean I'd quit doing it, but I would do it in conjunction with a full-time job. But I told him that I owed it to myself to give it a shot because I knew I could do it, and I knew that this was something I was passionate about. So that's what I did. Okay. What would you suggest should be a step one for a new consultant to get their business off the ground? You know, that's a great question, Whitney. A lot of times people get overwhelmed with all the information that we have about our products and our mission and all of these things. At the end of the day, the only thing you need to know is your connection to what we're doing. So your why, as we call it. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to be connected to Beautycounter? Why do you want to be part of our movement? And share that. That is it. If you share your enthusiasm and passion for Beautycounter's mission and our products, the rest will follow. I think the best thing you can do is to be your authentic and vulnerable self and say, you know what, guys, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but all I know is that I'm so passionate about this new company that I'm joining. Here's why. And you share your personal perspective, and people are going to want to know more. What are your most successful methods for finding new customers? Okay, Lori, so I didn't really talk much about that, did I? A lot of that will help, you'll find with your mentor. They'll help you kind of walk you through how we actually do the business. But in a nutshell, there's a few ways. First and foremost, socials. We call them socials. They're really just, that's a fancy word for gatherings. You know, getting a group of women or men together, maybe for a happy hour, a brunch, or a lunch, or a coffee, and putting the products out. Sharing your excitement and your enthusiasm for what we're doing, why we need their help and their voice, how they can use their purchasing power to actually shift demand in our country and demand safer ingredients. That's called a social. That's really just a real casual way of sharing our products and mission with a group. Typically, when people host socials, they enjoy the hostess rewards, which is shopping for half off and for free. But what I love about socials is that there's just no duplication of the energy and excitement that you can create when there's a group coming together. So that's a social. Second is just one-on-one consultation. So that's just connecting one at a time with your friends and family or network, whether that's in person or on the phone or text or Facebook Messenger or Instagram or whatever it is that works for you, one at a time. We also do sampling and loaning, as I mentioned before. And then third, I guess the fourth way is really social media. I have a lot of people that hate social media and they want nothing to do with it. And I have some that love it. So it's up to you. As long as you're being authentic to who you are as a person, social media can be a great way, just like we're using it right now. Liz asks where the company is headquartered. It is based in Santa Monica, California, which I get to head to in about 10 days for a founders meeting. I'm very excited. Okay, let's see here. Suzanne asks, can you comment on how someone with a full-time job can make this work, maybe lunch hours? Great question, Suzanne. We actually have a number of leaders on our team that have created quick videos about this very subject, so that's something I can always send to you if you want more specifics. But yes, really it's making a plan. It's making a plan for what you want out of it, and then figuring out where you can find those pockets of time in your week. So helping you time block, whether that's on your lunch hour, maybe early in the morning, maybe an hour in the evening, on the weekends, whatever is going to work for you, and then sticking to it and really being efficient with your time. Okay, let's see. Carolyn says, busy people are also often out and about with other people, which means you're already out and about in front of potential customers and clients. That's very true. Okay. Ashley asks, how does Beautycounter compare to Bare Minerals? I've been using those products for years. I'm very interested though. Okay, Ashley, that's a great question. You know, I am not an expert in Bare Minerals, and I can't speak to their ingredient selection process or, you know, what they do as far as a mission or advocacy. But what I will tell you is what we're doing is very unique, and we are really the only brand I know doing what we're doing, which is setting the bar extremely high with our ingredient selection process. We have something called the Never List. We have about 1,700 ingredients that are currently on our Never List of ingredients that we will never put in our products because of some link to human health issue. You can find that Never List, and you can find our ingredient glossary on our website, beautycounter.com. You might also turn to the ewg.org. They have an app on there called Skin Deep where you can actually you could probably put in some of your products from Bare Minerals. I don't know if they're in there, but it will pull up brands and different products and tell you how, you know, it rates it basically, the toxicity level of the product from a 0 to a 10, 0 being the safest, 10 being the, you know, the most toxic or hazardous to your health. So there are tools that we have that we can help you research your own products in your cabinet right now. But what I like to focus on is what we're doing. And what we're doing is, again, educating, advocating, and providing solutions through very high-performing products. Whitney asked, how did I do that transition? I am the main breadwinner and having a tough time navigating switching from my secure paying job into this. Any advice? Absolutely, Whitney. And again, I would talk to your mentor about this. And if she's not in that situation or hasn't been in that situation, I promise she can find somebody that is. And for me, I did take a huge leap of faith, and that meant pouring myself into this full time. But again, whoever your upline managing director would be the person to talk to, because they know how to do that. You know, we have many, many leaders that have done exactly what you're saying, transition out of a professional law salary or a doctor salary, six-figure salaries that they could not walk away from. So we have many, many people that can speak to how to do that. It's probably a longer conversation than for right now, but I'm happy to help you later. Is there a monthly fee for the website, or is it covered for a period of time? Great question, Kate. There is no monthly fee. We pay the $85 the very first time. That gets us a year for our website. And then every year on your anniversary, you pay $50, and that was just your renewal fee. Now, that does speak to our activity requirement. We do have a very small activity requirement for remaining a consultant. It's 6 months, so it's not a monthly requirement. It's $1,200 volume within a 6-month period, and of that $1,200, $250 of it has to come from a new client or a new consultant. Again, your mentor, whoever will be your mentor, can probably explain that a little bit better in more detail. But the good news is you have 6 months to do it, and guess what? Your own purchases count towards that. So even when you start your business and you get one of those starter sets, that all goes towards that requirement. Okay, Taylor says, someone I have watching this afterwards since she's at work was wondering how Beautycounter compares to Honest Beauty. Same thing I just said about Bare Minerals. Honest Beauty is a great advocate for what we're doing, and I think that they are an awesome ally, and we want more companies like them. They are trying to do better, with the ingredient selection process and providing, products that are safer for their health, so I applaud what they're doing. Again, I don't think there's really anybody doing exactly what we're doing as far as combining the fact that we can make an amazing income for ourselves by selling these products, by offering very high bar for selections for the ingredients, as well as a very high bar for the performance and the education behind it. So that's what I would say. Okay. Oh, Dawn asked if I could talk about our B Corp status. Absolutely. We are what's called a B Corp. I did not know what that was before I started Beautycounter, but you know how there's like S Corp, C Corps. B Corp is a way to classify a corporation. There are very few in the United States. Last I heard, there was only around 1,000. There may be more now. Patagonia is a B Corp. Tom's Shoes is a B Corp. Seventh Generation is a B Corp. And what it stands for is Benefit Corporation. And you have to hold people, planet, and profits equally. So we are a B Corp, which is an amazing badge of honor that we have. Okay. Jamie asked, how do you compare to other companies like, is it Credo? I don't know that store, but I live in Austin. That's probably why. Storefronts who have the same mission and focus on clean products. I honestly don't know anything about that store, so unfortunately I can't speak to it. But again, I would probably go back to the fact that we are doing what we're doing, providing clean beauty, advocating for stricter regulation, but also providing a business opportunity at the same time. That's a really unique angle. Donna asked, how many on your team total? How many direct to you? Great question. I think it's about 3,700 last I looked for the whole team. Direct to me, I don't know off the top of my head, probably about 50. So what's amazing is that you can personally bring people into this business, but then they do the same, and all of a sudden you have this incredible network and community on your team. It's really amazing. It's cool to see it in action, what linking arms and sharing this mission can do, not only to help people build their own independent businesses and making a major impact on their family's financial situation, but actually affecting the change that we're trying to affect. That is unbelievable. So, okay, I think I may have gotten all the questions, so unless there's a last-minute question, I'm going to wrap it up so that I don't overwhelm people with a long video. I hope this has been helpful. I want to appreciate you taking the time to join me and to hear more. Please do circle back with whoever invited you to this call. The video will remain up on the event page for a little while, so feel free to revisit it or continue to ask questions or comments under the video. Okay, thank you guys so much. Have an amazing weekend.